Greetings students and welcome to the Part A tutorial video. If you look on Google Classroom, you will find the Puzzle Cube piece document right here. And this video is going to walk you through the basic steps of creating Part A. The shape will be drawn as the outline that we have sketched already. And we just need to remember that each cube is going to be 3/4 of an inch. So when we draw longer lines, we'll have to add those two distances together to get the total distance. The program we're going to use for this is called Autodesk Inventor. You'll find it on your desktop. It looks like this icon right here. When you double click on it and give it a moment to load, it will start at the startup screen right here where you're going to choose a part. Remember, all things in Inventor require parts to be created first, and our puzzle cube is made up of 6 different parts. So we'll be creating 6 of these. Right now, we're only looking at Part A. When we click on Part, the screen will change to where we have a large drawing space, and we will have our Part browser on the left-hand side and our menu ribbon across the top. All of our view controls are on the right-hand side of the screen. Let's review Part A one more time. We're going to start with drawing the outline as a series of line segments. And then what we'll do after we create the outline is we will add measurements, what we call dimensions, so that the shape is the correct size. In Inventor, to create a 2-dimensional sketch, we click on this Start 2D Sketch button, and we're going to choose the XY plane. Our shape starts somewhere up here with a single cube that's approximately 3/4 of an inch. Now this program works in decimal, so we need to understand that 3/4 of an inch is 0.75. And we don't have to be exact. What we do want to do though is try to make sure that our line is horizontal or straight side to side. We don't want any crooked lines at an angle if we can help it. So we'll draw this line approximately that long, and then we know we're going to come down approximately the same distance. Now very quickly I can already tell that we're not going to have enough room, so I'm going to zoom out using the scroll wheel so that I have more space. If I click on the scroll wheel like it's a button, I can drag and reposition my screen. Now this particular line segment I want to be drawn perpendicular. So you'll see that little symbol that pops up right there in the bottom right hand side. That's the symbol for perpendicular. Approximately the right size. And then going this way, I want horizontal or perpendicular. Again, perpendicular meaning 90 degrees to the previous line. And this one should be 3/4 plus 3/4, or approximately 1.5. And we're just being approximate. We don't need to be exact as I create this shape. I know I'm going a little bit faster now, but each one of these line segments is simply perpendicular to the previous line segment, and they're all approximately 0.75 until I get down here, and this one needs to be approximately 1.5. And then we come back up and we go all the way back out here for the final line segments. Remember, each cube is approximately 0.75. Now you might be thinking, Mr. Crump, that's not a straight line and not a vertical line, but I did that on purpose so that I can show you how we can fix things in case you create them where they're not perpendicular or horizontal or vertical. So I'm still in the line command. You can see it's still shaded up there, but if I right click and choose OK, I can fix this line segment. We have some commands up here. These are called constraints, and one of them is for vertical or horizontal. Now this line is supposed to be vertical, so I'm going to click on the vertical constraint, and then I simply click on the line that is supposed to be vertical, and it fixes it. The next thing I need to do is add our measurements. Now there are some hints or tricks here to make things work easier. So I'm going to use dimension, which means add measurements, or place dimensions, which is our measurements. And I'm going to start by giving it the biggest dimensions first, which means I need to know how far it is from this top line all the way down to this bottom line. So watch what I do. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to click again on the bottom line. And when I move this to the left or to the right, I can put that measurement down. Now it should be 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. So you think about that, do the math, 0.75 times 4, and you should get the number 3. So I want that to be 3. The other dimension I need is from the left edge all the way over to the right edge. It should also be 3. Now you'll notice that our part now looks really weird because it's adjusted itself, but we need to add more measurements. This distance right here should be 2 of our cubes. So 2 times 0.75 is 1.5. If it helps you to think of it as money, if you have 75 cents and somebody gives you 75 cents more, you have $1.50. This distance right here is supposed to be 1 cube, 0.75. Notice how it adjusts as I go. This distance is also 0.75. Now watch this. If I try to add this distance, the program's going to yell at me. The program already knows how far that is, and it's going to say, hey, time out. You don't need that one. The reason we don't need it is because we already have the overall distance, and we have these two pieces. It knows what's left over. Now what we haven't done is we haven't told it this distance right here, it needs to be 0.75, and I need to tell it this distance, 0.75. Now it already knows this one, so it's going to yell at me if I try to add that because of this 3 down here. It already knew how far that was. Now over here we need to tell it some distances. This should be 0.75. This line should be 0.75. And then lastly, this line should be 0.75. And it won't let me, or it'll yell at me if I try to add that one because it's not necessary. Now I'm going to show you something. If this piece is fully dimensioned, if we have all the measurements we need, then when I click on the little padlock and click on a corner, it should turn purple. Now the reason that shape right there did not turn purple is because if I click on it, you'll see I can still move it. If it was purple, I wouldn't be able to move it. The distance that's missing is how far from here to the edge here. I need a dimension that goes from here to here. And once I put that dimension in, the whole shape will be purple, meaning everything is fully dimensioned, and that is it. We are done drawing the two-dimensional sketch of part A. So I'll click Finish Sketch, and I'll zoom out so we can see the whole thing. Remember, clicking on the scroll wheel will reposition the screen. And to make this three-dimensional, we have to click Extrude. When you click Extrude, it's going to ask you for a distance, and you simply put in 0.75. Now, pretend maybe that this didn't pop up on your screen. It might look like that. This is called a window shade menu, and you can unroll the window shade or you can roll it back up. But our distance right here should be 1 cube. Remember, our cubes are 0.75. The last thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to change its color to match the color on the document. Remember, this is the yellow piece. So up here at the top, we have this thing here that says default. I can click on that, and I am looking for anything yellow. There's one down here, I believe it's called smooth yellow. Click on smooth yellow, and we are now done. Now the assignment asks you to create a screenshot. I'll create a separate video for how to create a screenshot. This concludes the video for creating part A. Good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor.